Welcome back, guys. My name is Jake. I'm from PartsPro.ph, and today we're going to be reviewing a van that's very, very special. So this particular van is, as with all vans, is dedicated to a family man like me. So today we're going to be reviewing the Volkswagen T6 Multivan. So this particular van, compared to the other offerings in the market, is a little bit more unorthodox compared to the ones we have here readily available. So with that being said, I'm gonna have my resident tech guy be a guest in this particular family show, right? That's the same guy who did the GR Yaris spec check. Right? So we're gonna be also doing a spec check for this multivan in a separate video. But for this particular one, we're gonna be doing a family concentrated review. So stay tuned. All right. So first things first, of course, you wanna take care of the driver. But before you get into the car, you wanna be able to get in, right? So the door is pretty heavy. It's pretty sturdy. You can feel the premiumness of it. Right, so compared to other offerings, like I said, in the market, this has that oomph to it. As you can see, there's a lot of cubby holes, right? So it's definitely family ready. So as you can see, it's very spacious, very modern. It has the captain seats. What I'd like to highlight is, compared to other vans, it has two armrests, right? So it has one here, and it has one here, right? So that's something I would like to say unusual, but it's something very new, right? Compared to the current selections we have. Plus, we have this particular knob. When it's on its lock position, it can change the angle. Ta-da! It takes some getting used to, but it helps. Next thing I want to point out is, compared to the usual vans or even usual cars, there's a lever when you try to recline or decline your seat. So in this particular van, it's actually an analog knob. I don't know if you can see it, but it's similar to the Recaro seats, where you can try to spin the knob, spin it backwards to recline. As for the dash, as you can see, it's very sleek. At first, honestly, I thought these were carbon fiber stuff. On top of that, as mentioned, there's a lot of holes where you can put your stuff, right? It even has cubby holes here, right? There's a 12-volt outlet here, and there's one up here. Don't know if you can see that, but that's something very convenient, especially a guy like me, where I have a lot of paperwork, schoolwork on my kids, phones, all dumped into the dash. One more thing I'd like to point out is they already have the updated USB-C ports, as opposed to the regular USB 2.0, 3.0 stuff. As you can see on the steering wheel, as with all updated models, it has all the functionalities, all the navigation stuff on it. As for its girth, you can feel the premiumness of the steering wheel, right? So you're confident that Volkswagen paid attention to it. Next thing is, I wanted to highlight is their head unit. So when it starts up, it has the usual stuff, right? So FM, AM channels, AM presets. When you go to your source, it has your typical My Media, where you can plug in your USB port and load up stuff. You have your Bluetooth audio, where you can connect your phone. Then eventually, it also has Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. But compared to other models, this particular head unit actually has wireless Apple CarPlay capabilities. Like compared to the regular head units that we have nowadays, majority of them are wired. So if you have a car that still has that wired capability and doesn't have that wireless option, you can check out PartsPro. Check out their selections of head units. As with new updated vans, you have your automatic doors. So when you press this, it closes up. So on the back seats, as you can see, everything is very similar to the front. It's very spacious. Like spacious to the power of 100. Compared to other offerings, compared to the Chinese brands and the Korean brands in the market, as you can see from the video, it's incredibly generous. And as a resident tech guy, it even has its very own CPU. Kulang na lang monitor, no? No, I'm kidding. This is actually a table. So let me just put it out. Bam. We don't stop there. And my favorite, cup holders. Having 2 kids, it's bound that you're gonna spill something in your car. And with this, protecting your drinks, you'll be fine. So in total, it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 more down here. Has a temporary, I guess, container or something. 2 magazine racks, and that's it.
Oh, pahinga ka muna, pare. Ay, gusto ko sana kumain pero, well, we can't eat in a car like this. It's too new, it's too clean, no? So, buy donuts and buy Jake. So, let's close this up so we can talk about how versatile yung rear area is. Right? Push that down. Twist the table. O yan, CPU na siya ulit, di ba? As you can see, dito sa rear cabin area ng T6 Multivan, the whole system of seats is dominated by these sets of rails here below. So this is pretty common with most European vans actually. Kasi syempre, the Multivan is also like a shuttle, yung mga pang businesses, ganon. So they have these rails to be very flexible with how they can package the car. And in the case of the Multivan, syempre, it's a people carrier. And, well, with the table and the swiveling seats and everything, you can set it up to be like a proper meeting area, diba? Apart from, your typical family hauler. So, to do that, syempre, you're going to have to figure out how to swivel the seats. It's actually a pretty simple system compared to the ones we've had before with some older vans, no? It's all about just a lever here sa ilalim, no? Marami siyang levers for recline and for pulling and pushing the seat. Pero yun, isang pull lang of that lever, you could flip it 180 degrees agad. No fuss, di ba? And then, just pull it back. Okay, medyo kailangan ata yung timbang ng tao to pull it back, no? Yan. So, compared to other older, more primitive systems, no? Yung rail systems nitong Multivan is pretty efficient na. You just need to put your weight into it, lalo na dito with the recline and the push and pull of the seat, no? That's pretty much it. Pero that decides, you already have a very versatile system in place. So as you can see with the rear section ng Multivan, mukha siyang malaki and marami kang malalagay, no? So, thankfully, automatic yung tailgate niya and mabilis umangat, no? But as you can see here, with the rear seats na sagad, medyo, well, meron kasya pag groceries, di ba? Pero ang tanong dito is nag-tonneau cover ka pa kung ganyan lang yung tatakpan. Right. Pero syempre, hindi lang limited dyan yung rear bench, no? So if you want to move the rear bench, no, you just have to take out the doggy tray here, no? And then pull on the second latch, yung number 2. And push on the bench. Yeah? Ayan. So, sobrang laki na no space. Easily, 4 na maleta yan, walang problema. And that's when your tonneau cover comes in for more privacy, di ba? Okay, so with the help of the staff here at Volkswagen, we were able to finally figure out how to turn the rear bench into a bed. Di ba? Oh, sakto. Yung isa dyan katatapos lang kumain ng donuts. Perfect for a catnap, di ba? Oh.
So hi guys, so tapos na ako mag-donut. Thank you to Al for taking my place kasi hindi ko kakayanin yung technicalities niya. Tapos na rin ako matulog. Thank you to the Convertible Bed that the Multivan has. So that's awesome. We managed to sleep well. So now we're here with Danny. She's one of the sales consultants for Volkswagen iconic dealership. So she's going to be pointing out the highlights of the Volkswagen Multivan. Danny?
Okay. So the Volkswagen Multivan Kombi T6 actually has the longest production run in any Volkswagen vehicle. And the Volkswagen Multivan Kombi has a 2.0 turbo diesel engine, have LED daytime running lights, headlights, and taillights. It also have 17-inch alloy wheels. It also has electric dual sliding doors and tailgate. We also have park distance control and rear camera. Park distance control, we have front and rear. For the interior, we have Napa leather seats. We also have dual swivel captain seats, multi-function table, and 3-zone climatronic air conditioning. For the technology, interior as well, we have active info display, 8-inch Discover Media with navigation, Android Auto, and wireless Apple CarPlay. Please follow and like us on Facebook at AC Motors and Volkswagen Iconic Dealership. You can also follow us on Instagram at acmotors_Volkswagen. Please also follow and like my Facebook selling page at Volkswagen Best Deals by Danny Encarnacion and my Instagram selling page at Volkswagen BGC_promos. You can also contact me at 0917-186-9318.
Looking for aftermarket parts and accessories for your car? Visit Parts Pro and check out our selections. Parts Pro is the Philippines' #1 e-commerce store for everything automotive. Shop now at Parts Pro. Visit PartsPro.ph. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Order via Shopee. We deliver nationwide.
Okay, so first impressions of the new to us, T6 Multivan. For a van, no, very textbook yung shape niya. Because, you know, the VW van lineup has been around for a while. And siguro since the early 2000s with the Caravels of then to now, not much has changed except for with the basic design, no? But yung profile niya is certainly different. It always follows the modern design language of Volkswagen. So, in the case of this one though, I kind of like how they were daring enough to go with a two-tone na very contrasting, right? So it makes the Multivan look a bit slimmer or less huge in terms of road presence, which is kind of a good thing kasi ang laki talaga ng kotse. So with the brake and color here, from the upper section to the lower half, magandang profile yung nabibigay niya. It gives a certain dynamic to how the car looks instead of just looking like a giant refrigerator on the road like your usual Toyota Hiace, di ba? One other positive thing about this is the fact na your engine is actually in front of the driver, di ba? Unlike your usual UV vans, no, where your engine, yung nakaupo ka sa makina, di ba? All the vibrations are there and hindi siya komportable for long drives. But of course, with more modern iterations of other vans, and particularly this one din, diba? The engine is up front, so you won't really be bothered by that and mas relax siya on long trips. Ayun, speaking of the height, no? Grabe yung headroom nito. I'm 5'4", 5'5", diba? But wow, ang tangkad ng multivan. And kitang-kita mo sa loob. Pag sakay mo sa loob, hindi mo na kailangan gumapang to get to your seat eh. Very tall headroom, no? So even 6-footer guys can just hop in easy, di ba? Pretty much yung impression of the van is, it's huge, no? Even siguro while driving it, looking at it from the sides, no? Feeling ko it would take a little getting used to in terms of gaano siya kalapad. But it's pretty suitable for our roads naman, I guess. Yeah. Okay, so as you can see here, of course, yung VW Multivan comes with an automatic transmission. To most folk. This is actually a 7-speed DSG gearbox, which is a dual clutch system, meaning yung shifts niya would be more responsive and a bit quicker, no? So it's perfect for the power band of this one in the sense na diesel engines usually have low-end torque, no? So with a smart transmission like this, you will always be in the power band when you need it, diba? You let the transmission figure that out for you. And, you know, you'll get to use most of the torque all the time, which is what you need with a car as hefty as this, diba? Especially when you're hauling a lot of stuff. In terms of driving position, no, with cars like this, you usually don't get to have any adjustability, and it's pretty difficult to find your ideal driving position. But in the case of the VW Multivan, in fairness, for its segment, I think yung adjustability nung driving position is actually pretty good. Kasi the fact na it has tilt and telescopic adjustment ng steering wheel lends a lot to proper driving posture. No? The only downside I can think of is having to figure out how to adjust the seats kasi nga knob yung adjustment niya. So very limited ka in terms of that, but I think once you figure out your proper position, you can compensate na lang with the tilt and telescopic as well as yung distance mo to the actual steering column, di ba? Once you get that in place, no? It seems pretty ergonomic in that sense, and it would be easier to drive than most. So yeah, not bad. Okay, so under the hood, ito yung 2-liter TDI inline-4 turbo diesel. This motor has been around, no, since, well, matagal na yung production niya. So medyo may aftermarket support naman siya or may relative support and people know the quirks of the engine. So it's fairly reliable in that sense na there's a lot of support in case anything goes wrong, no? But when you look at it here, it's pretty simple, no? What you actually see in front, well, on top of it is yung heat exchanger niya for the turbo going into the intake manifold, no? That's what cools yung air going into the engine, pretty much. One other quirky thing about this one is yung air intake niya actually has a meter where you can read yung life no filter inside it, no? So from 100% to 75 and all the way down, no, you can have a visual cue of when you need to replace or service the air filter. Easy. And well, if you're actually fairly religious with checking and doing your own maintenance checks with oil and everything, the dipstick is easily accessible down here. Plus, yung coolant reservoir nyo is in a very big cup, no? It's easy to really check and inspect kung bawas na yung fluid. So, it's fairly serviceable, no? Considering it's supposedly something na usually when manufacturers make a car like this, they put the engine down there and all the peripherals and stuff. But here, you can easily check it. No problem. And not to mention, of course, yung battery nandito lang sa gilid. But it has a lot of things hooked up to it. So you may have to read your manual if you choose to service it on your own. But hey, it's all here.